You know that feeling like you're still writing the rough draft of your life, and the final version will start someday later? Like you're stuck in standby mode. You tell yourself, I'll grind through this now, and real life will start next year. That is one of the most dangerous traps your mind can set. Because the truth is this, there is no final draft coming. You are writing your story right now, in permanent ink. No rewrites, no edits. And the ink dries fast. Every day you live on autopilot is a page ripped out of your own book. Most people wake up around 40 and realize they spent their whole life getting ready to live, but never actually started. Their dreams are sitting in the back of a drawer, covered in dust. Today, we're pulling those dreams back out. I'm going to give you 7 money principles that can drag you out of waiting mode and put you into action mode. If you stop ignoring them, your reality changes. Stop rehearsing in front of the mirror. The stage is already lit. The audience is seated. Get out there and play your role before the curtain drops for good. A lot of people scream, quit your job, start a business, bet everything right now. Most of the time, that's stupid. A job is not a prison if you change the way you look at it. Stop seeing your paycheck as money for hours burned. Start seeing it as seed capital for your future operation called freedom. Your employer is your first serious investor. Your 20s are the golden window for risk. If you don't have kids, a mortgage, or major responsibilities yet, you are more mobile than you think. If your idea fails now, you mostly lose time and take a hit to the ego. But 10 years from now, when you've got a family, bills, a mortgage, and people depending on you, every jump into the unknown gets heavier. That's why you don't waste your paycheck on dumb entertainment and status purchases. You use income from your job to fund your experiments. Build the side hustle, test ideas, run the play. Make mistakes while the lights are still on and the rent is covered. Your employer is paying for your stability while you build your risk in the background. Use your job like a training ground, and when your personal projects start bringing in more than your salary, you don't leave like a victim. You leave like a winner. Until then, squeeze every resource you can out of your current position and use it to launch. We were trained to wait for big, dramatic moments. What most people underestimate is the brutal power of boring consistency. In finance, there's compound growth. Money makes money, and then that money makes more money. But this law doesn't only apply to investing. It applies to your habits, your discipline, and your daily choices. If you spend just 30 minutes a day getting better, 1 year from now, you'll be miles ahead of people who did nothing. You'll become the kind of person who can charge more, earn more, and solve bigger problems. If you save and invest just 10% of your income and do it for years, you can build more real wealth than someone who made a big score once and blew it all. Success is not one heroic move. Success is the last 1,000th of a series of tiny actions nobody notices. Stop looking for the magic shortcut. Learn to respect repetition. Water doesn't break rock with one hit. It breaks rock through pressure, persistence, and time. Be that water. While everyone else is looking for dynamite, you carve through mountains with rhythm. We live in the age of curated images. Social media turned visible success into a religion. It makes you feel like if you don't have the newest iPhone, the luxury car, the designer clothes, the upscale apartment, then somehow you're falling behind. So people buy things they do not need, with money they do not have, to impress people they do not even know. That game cannot be won, because the finish line keeps moving. Real wealth is quiet. It's not the watch on your wrist. It's peace in your head and numbers in your brokerage account. A wealthy person doesn't need to shout about money. Usually, they protect it. Third principle. B. Don't perform. Stop building the front of a mansion when there's nothing behind the walls. Build the foundation. Your self-worth should not come from the logo on your jacket or the badge on the hood of your car. Real status is freedom of choice, not a monthly payment on a vehicle. Looking rich and being rich are often two opposite strategies. Choose the second one. In a world that changes at full speed, there is only one asset that never really loses value: your adaptability, and your ability to solve problems. Degrees get outdated, industries get disrupted, job titles disappear. But a sharp mind that can learn, negotiate, sell, build, manage money, and stay useful will always find a way through. In your 20s, your main mission is not to make all the money in the world overnight. Your mission is to load your brain with high-value skills. Treat your skills like weapons and tools. If you want to end up on the winning side, invest more in your mind than in your image. Your experience and your ability to think are the only bank nobody can freeze, devalue, or take away from you. Fill that bank with the right assets, and it will feed you for life. The world belongs to the curious. The moment you decide you already know enough, you start dying professionally. Ever notice how some straight-A students end up broke, while former average students build companies? Because money is not just math. Money is psychology. Most of your financial problems don't come from not understanding percentages. They come from not understanding yourself. Your biggest enemies are not prices, taxes, or inflation alone. Your biggest enemies are envy, impatience, insecurity, and the need to feel better right now. Look at your spending honestly. A lot of people aren't buying out of need. They're buying a temporary emotional high. Retail therapy, impulse spending, doom spending. Same poison, different label. Then there's the other extreme, fear. You're scared to ask for a raise, scared to negotiate, scared to start the business, scared to invest, scared to fail in public. And that fear freezes you in place for years. Fifth principle, money demands emotional control. The difference between a person who builds wealth and a person who stays broke is often this. One knows how to pause between "I want it" and "I bought it." They do not let ads, sales, hype, and algorithms yank them around like a dog on a leash. If you learn to say no to short-term cravings, you'll be shocked how much money stays in your pocket and how much power comes back into your life. Stop using your wallet like an antidepressant. Money is a tool for freedom, not emotional pain relief. Use a cold head. Emotion is a terrible financial advisor. We are social creatures. Your brain is constantly measuring what is normal based on the people around you. If your circle talks only about problems, blames everybody else, and normalizes bad decisions, your mind starts treating that as reality. You cannot grow in an environment that keeps pulling you down. Sixth principle, choose your circle on purpose. Find people who are stronger than you in something. Talk to them, ask questions, trade perspective, share what you know. You do not just need friends for comfort. You need people who raise your standard. If you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. Be around people you want to grow toward. The exchange of energy, standards, and ideas with capable people is one of the fastest elevators upward. You become what you tolerate around you. Don't be afraid of temporary solitude. Be afraid of the crowd marching happily in the wrong direction. Psychologists often split people into two camps. The first group believes life is mostly controlled by outside forces: bad luck, the economy, their boss, their parents, politics, timing. That is the mindset of a passenger. The second group believes that while they can't control everything, they are still responsible for their decisions, reactions, standards, and direction. That is the mindset of a driver. Guess which one gets results? The passenger always has an excuse. The driver looks for another route. Seventh principle, take full responsibility. Your current financial situation is the result of your decisions, patterns, habits, and tolerated weaknesses over the past few years. Stop waiting for somebody to come save you. Nobody is coming. You are the only captain on this ship. And the second you accept that, you gain power. Real power. Because then, you can change direction. Stop glancing at the passenger seat. It's empty. Nobody is grabbing the wheel if you drift off, hesitate, or fall asleep at the controls. Human beings are wired to seek comfort, warmth, ease, convenience, safety. But in nature, stillness turns into stagnation. The same thing happens to your ambition. Too much comfort makes you soft. It feels good. It feels safe. But slowly, quietly, it kills your edge. Comfort is a sweet sleep for your potential. If your life feels too easy right now, there's a good chance you're not growing. Growth always comes through friction, through challenge, through discomfort, through entering rooms you haven't earned confidence in yet. Don't fear the hard life. Fear the easy life that leads nowhere. Set goals that demand effort from you. Only outside the familiar do new horizons open up. Your job is not to hide from the wind. Your job is to learn how to set the sail. Diamonds are formed under crushing pressure. Warm, comfortable places produce mold.
Now you've got the 7 principles. But remember, the map is not the territory. You can stare at a map all day and still never move. You won't earn scars, lessons, strength, or victory by nodding at good advice. Knowing and doing are 2 different universes. And right now comes the most dangerous moment. Your brain, trained by comfort and laziness, will say, "Great, we learned something. Mission accomplished." That is exactly where most people lose. They agree, they nod, they feel inspired for 10 minutes, and then they go right back to the same script, complaining about Mondays and living on autopilot. Inertia is brutal. It keeps most people pinned to the bottom. But if you're still here, then there's still a spark in you. And that means you have a choice. You can leave everything the way it is and wake up 10 years from now sick to your stomach because the time is gone. Or you can start writing your story today while the ink is still wet. You do not need to burn your whole life down in one day. Big wins are built through small, nearly invisible changes. Start tonight. Review your spending from the last month. Cut one stupid purchase. Talk to one person already living the way you want to live. Make one move, even if it's awkward, even if it's uncertain. I'm not promising you it'll be easy. The road to the top is always uphill and usually into the wind. But the view from up there is worth every ounce of effort. Stop being a spectator in someone else's success story. Become the author of your own.